Beth Young is a character on the hit TV show Desperate Housewives Season 7. Beth's character always stood out to me because it was so tragic. Usually the high of the villains are when, they accomplish their scheme or when they are about to accomplish their scheme. So they have that moment of victory even if it's just for a brief time. And the hero gets to defeat evil and they live happily ever after. And then there's Beth. Beth grew up with her mom, a mad yet eccentric woman named Felicia. Felicia was on a manhunt to take down a man who killed her sister. She tried to frame him for her murder, and when he was in prison, she made her daughter write to him like one of those crazy women who write romantic letters to inmates. She eventually married him in prison. Why? Well, Felicia's plan wasn't perfect. She knew that Paul, the man who killed her sister, will eventually get out of prison as soon as they discover Felicia. So she planned ahead. Felicia's plan was to make Paul confess to Beth that he killed Martha, Felicia's sister. Are you still following? Good. Eventually, Felicia was discovered by the police because she was speeding, and Paul Young was set free. Now Felicia is the one who's in prison for staging a murder in the first place. She would use her kind daughter, Beth, to try and let Paul's guard down. Beth goes as far as losing her virginity to Paul. What Felicia didn't expect is that Beth would actually fall in love with Paul for real. After Paul was shot in the street, the police questioned everyone for potential suspects. This is when Paul discovered that Felicia is actually Beth's mom. So now Paul thinks that Beth was the one who shot him and that Felicia was the one who set him up. Paul being Paul, he planned to commit a murder in the woods. He set up a romantic getaway for him and Beth in the woods, but in the last moment the police came to their house and shown him the gun. Realizing that that was his gun that was stolen by his son Zach, he gets inside and tells Beth that he got a call from the cabin people and they told him that they can't go on a trip. Beth was sad because she was really looking forward to this trip, and Paul says to her, "Trust me, Beth, you dodged the bullet."
Trust me, Beth. I think you dodged a bullet here.
After that, Beth goes to the prison to tell Felicia that she loves Paul and that she believes him that he didn't kill her aunt. And then Felicia screams at her, insults her, and really makes her feel like shit. It's truly sad to watch a parent yell like that at their child. Even though Beth is a grown woman, you can see the inner child trying to make her mom happy. So now we're in the house. As soon as Beth was done showering, Paul confronts her about Felicia. Beth was justifying herself, saying how it started off as spying, but she actually fell in love with him. Paul refused to believe that. Paul refused to believe that anyone could love him, and he kicked her out with wet hair. Poor Beth goes back one last time to Paul to try to convince him that she really does love him and that she believes that he's a good guy. Paul breaks down and tells Beth that he was the one who killed her aunt. He even asks her, how does it feel to be betrayed by someone you love? Beth is now broken. The man she loved and trusted actually turned out to be the murderer who doesn't want anything to do with her. Felicia, her mother, mocked her, saying how she was going to spend the rest of her life alone, living with rats in a small apartment. In that moment, Beth is completely broken. I feel the need to also explain her mistreatment from the neighbors. She tried many times to be friendly with the girls from the neighborhood, but they didn't even want to give her a chance because she was married to Paul Young, a man who everyone, thinks murdered her aunt and got away with it. She was even excluded in church. The pastor had to force Bree to try to be friends with her since she really felt lonely and didn't have any friends. She was literally guilty by association. Bree invited her to hang out one night with the girls. The girls were not having it. Bree tried to be friendly with Beth, but when you're not wanted in the room, the other people didn't even speak or just speak a word when they are asked something. This is what Beth had to go through. In this timeline, Susan needed to have a kidney transplant, and the whole neighborhood organized a donor match testing event. Of course, Beth and Paul were not invited. Most people in the neighborhood didn't want to get tested, so Bree and Gabby had to pretty much force them to do so. Beth just saw a flyer and went to get tested on her own. Beth and Bree ended up being a match. In this dark moment, Beth didn't have anyone on her side. She was disowned by her mother. Her father was not in the picture. Her husband kicked her out, but she wanted to do one last good deed, so she went to the ER and signed the organ transplant papers. As soon as she submitted these papers, she pulled out a gun in the middle of a hospital and shot herself in the head. This was an extremely dark and poetic scene. Paul's first wife, Mary Alice Young, in season 1, episode 1, shot herself in the head, and now his second wife committed suicide the same way. I also find it poetic that the last person Beth spoke to was Bree, the one who would also try to commit suicide with a gun in the next season. This is why her character felt gut-wrenching, because she never really got a single real happy moment. Beth was a good person from the first episode to her last. She was constantly pleasing other people, yet she never got the love and appreciation she deserved.